Awesome. So, yat e she e Jacquelyn Yepa Yinishia, the Kadina Inishlin, do Jahona e Bashashin, Kitla Chini e Dashache, Klugadina e Dashanale. Good evening. My name is Jacquelyn Yepa. I am of Navajo descent and Walatowa, M.I.S Pueblo. Um, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but kind of raised back and forth between Albuquerque, Newcomb, New Mexico, and M.I.S Pueblo.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for introducing yourself, Jacqueline. But yeah, thanks again for talking with me. And I kind of came across your work from that survey that you kind of put out earlier this year. But can you kind of tell everyone about your art background, kind of how you got into art and the art that you're doing now?
Yeah, so my art background started like ever since I was just a little baby. I grew up in a family full of artists, and then more personal. My dad is an artist, so I grew up with him, just being in his creative mindset while he does his thing. He would go out to different art shows to sell his work. He does paintings and wood burnings. So if I was around him, he would like hand me a pencil or, try to inspire me to create something. Um, I guess even in, like elementary school, way back when, um, a lot of, I guess not just in elementary school, but I guess my grade school years, a lot of teachers saw potential in me in a creative way. So they would always like encourage me to enter into art contests or encourage me to join the art club or um, have me do like different creative things that they thought would help me, which in the end it did. Um, so with that, with teachers encouraging me, I had this one teacher back in high school. Her name was Miss Worth, and she had encouraged me to apply for a job here in Albuquerque for that hires youth artists. So at first I was like iffy because at the time I was 16 and I didn't even like a job in my mind didn't like cross it yet. And especially like in art or like I kind of like doubted myself that like there's a lot of good artists, why would they pick me? But I just pushed through it and I got that application in. Eventually I got a call back, got an interview, and I've been with this program, ALMA, which stands for Apprenticeships for Leaders in Mosaic Arts. I've been with those guys ever since, and I'm still working with them today. Um, and that program has really helped me a lot in like the fact that it's not a regular job. They encourage us with workshops on how to, do trainings like CPR or how to handle your financial business. Like they would bring in mentors that would help with our questions or something like that. We would do field research for our projects. Let me rewind a bit. I forgot to tell you what the work is. So the work is creating mosaic murals out of tile, so clay tile, and we would make the clay tiles ourselves, handmade. We would glaze them ourselves, fire them ourselves, and install them ourselves. So the first year I worked there in 2016, we worked on the Albuquerque Convention Center. So if you ever take a trip there, there's all kinds of tile mosaics on the wall. That's this program that I'm working with. So yeah, we do mosaic murals and still working there as a lead apprentice this time. And then from there, I just kind of was questioning what I wanted to do, like towards the end of high school. What do I want to go to school for? What do I want to do? And I had family members who have gone to different colleges here in New Mexico, and one of them stuck out, which was IIA, which is the Institute of American Indian Arts down in Santa Fe. And I had cousins who had gone there. I had talked to my cousin Kathleen Wall, and about the school, and she has like a lot of good things to say about it. And I wasn't too sure about it until I actually went there. I went on a field trip with my Native American history class.
Mhm.
Um, and keep in mind that I went to like public school in Albuquerque. So like all these Native classes that I have taken were like through Indian Ed in APS. So anyways, we went down to um, Santa Fe. We took a trip there. They gave us a tour around the studios and what they stood for and what kind of, you know, and looking around, I see all kinds of different art, indigenous art. And we went to their museum, the Contemporary Museum of Native American Art. And I have never seen anything like that before. Like just mixing your indigenous identity with the now, with what's in front of you, or just kind of speaking your truth of being um, I guess, a modern native around these times. So that those artworks hanging up really inspired me and kind of like spark something like, hey, I have a lot of cool ideas. Maybe, one day my artwork could be in here and inspire another person as well to keep doing what they're doing. And so I applied to IA, and at the moment I'm getting my bachelor's of fine arts, specifically studio arts, more specifically in painting and ceramics. So yeah, ever since I first got there right after high school. So in 2018 of August was my first semester. Um, and I've just met a lot of great people there. All the teachers there, professors there are incredible. They help inspire me every time I get a chance to talk to them. And it was like a very different environment from being, at a public school where you're not seen, where there's like five native kids in your school, and it's just very different. So I felt some sort of empowerment at that school, which helped encourage my art to go further. Um, so I guess kind of flash forward to now. I'm a senior. This upcoming semester is my last. Um, I would have graduated last semester, but I had gotten my certificate in business and entrepreneurship instead, so kind of like delayed the bachelor's a semester, but it's all good. Um, and so, yeah, now I am creating my own stickers. I'm getting prints out, and I'm realizing, all this potential I have, especially like with my unique ideas, like um, just a lot of encouraging people around me.
Yeah. You mentioned the sculpting and the mural art. What other types of art mediums have you kind of used, or what is your, I guess another question too is like, what is your preference as to doing like an art medium? Like is it painting or sculpting or digital
Yeah,
art?
so it's really whatever I can get my hands on, whatever I can learn, whatever I can use to make art, I will try to use it. So far, I have done paintings, digital paintings, animation, then working with ceramics, so with clay, building mosaics, sculpting with clay, drawing with pencils, pastels, using watercolor. So like all these different mediums, like they're really fun to use and they're really fun to mix together. So like, and I've been wanting to do like some claymation, like get a little technical and focus on something like that. And I've been wanting to work with like more sculpting material, but I have yet to like learn how to use the tools properly or what tool fit is best for a material to use. So yeah, just at the moment, I've just been doing digital stuff, paintings, and working with clay.
Okay, that's awesome. And like, what are kind of like your inspirations or influences for creating art?
Yeah, so growing up, I grew up with metal parents, so heavy metal parents. And growing up around that, there was a lot of CDs and album art. So looking at the album art and looking what's inside, I feel like has inspired me a lot, and especially with like since I surround myself with like a lot of metal stuff, I have a lot of that imagery that's just kind of like in my head. And um so that's a big influence. Another influence would be just like traditions or like nature and family members that just basically what's around me all the time. um for my art, I like to create like spooky creatures that are also like beautiful with either they're just black and white or I can fill them with beautiful blends of color. Yeah, but all those components are like the ingredients to like my artwork.
It's awesome. Yeah, we'll get into the artwork for like metal albums a little bit later. But another question was, do you plan on like just doing like kind of like art for for a living, or do you plan on continuing like more education in art, or how, have you thought of that?
I feel like I will always keep continue, doing art. After I graduate, I plan to continue school, not necessarily like in the art field, but I would like to learn more about the study of plants, specifically their medicinal uses. Um, because I feel like there's with me and like nature, there's a strong connection, but like I would like to go out into nature and be like, oh, that's so and so plant and it can help this.
Mm.
Uh, teach others that there are medicinal plants like all around us. Um and then eventually, like after I do that and like have more research in plants, I would like to continue to build up, like go back to like art as the main thing and build like a program similar to what I'm working with now. So Alma, similar to that, but specifically for Native youth. And so that way they're able to do art in their community to provide them, or like assuming I can provide them like a safer space, or giving them something to do instead of doing something else that might not be so good, and just give them an outlet, provide them with tools. And with the program too, like there are grants out there, funding for stuff like that. So maybe like this program I'm working with, we're funded through grants. So and that's how we get paid. So doing that, but for like the Native youth.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, definitely. Native youth need to find something to keep them occupied, just because not everyone is into basketball and rodeo, and you know
Yeah.
like how it is on the res. So I know they're, I guess speaking for myself, I kind of fell into that like skateboarder metal kind of category. And yeah, I think for sure having some kind of outlet for young people is definitely needed.
Yeah.
um Oh, I forgot to mention. Actually, my dad went to IAIA in the mid '70s, and yeah. So I think I always thought that was cool that you go in there. It's a really cool program. I haven't been out there, but that's kind of where I guess my dad became a painter. I think he was mostly just drawing like pencil for a long time, but then he kind of honed in on like painting. So that's cool. You're almost done with your program out there.
Yeah.
Um,
If you ever get the chance, like the end of this semester, so like around December, we're that's when the senior exhibition is. And if you ever get the chance, I'll post, when it is and stuff, but that'll be a time to come out.
awesome, hell yeah. Um, I'm just going to kind of like transition a little bit about the survey that you put together. That's kind of how I came across your work. Can you kind of talk about how you came up with it and kind of the background behind that survey?
Yeah, so since I'm a senior at II, we have to focus on something. It can be anything. And for the longest time, I was like struggling what I wanted to do because this is a topic you have to stay with your whole year. And you have to write proposals on it, and you have to do a lot of research on it. And so it's something, that should be close to your heart. So as I was like, thinking, I was like, dang, should I do this? Should I do that? And I'm like, what's something I'm really passionate about? And even already, like in my past years, I have already brought up like my love for metal, and I wear my battle vest all the time, and I have merch that I wear all the time. So um, you know, I thought about that, and I was like, huh, um, thinking about the connection between metal and mental health. um, then that's when it kind of clicked for me because even looking back on myself, growing up, I was very antisocial. I was very excluded from everyone else. I just didn't want to be at school. I didn't fit in with the kids, and I just didn't want to be there. So I turned to music, and the music I listened to the most was heavy metal, whether it was like Led Zeppelin, Korn, or something heavier, Uwada, um, or Ex Mortis. So turning to something like that. And so I thought, hey, there's a lot of natives I see either at the grocery store, at shows, even, or even just walking around. Someone has a metal merch t-shirt or something of the sort. And um, so every time I talk to, my closest either friends or family members or family friends, and they do like metal, they always talk about how it helped them deal with a situation. And so I thought about different things of why it helps, especially going to shows. And so I thought, hey, might as well do my project on this because I'm passionate about it. So, how heavy metal helps with mental health, specifically in Indigenous people. And I say specifically Indigenous people because there's a lot of representation with, other ethnicities. And where do you see the natives? And so I just thought, just specifically us, because there's a lot to be accounted for. So that's my project. My project is that I have to make four ceramic figures and four paintings, and four of each because I am representing an emotion a metalhead could have, or just somebody listening to metal could have while listening to the music. So happiness, sadness, aggression, or even excitement. So I'm trying to depict those emotions through sculpting in clay and painting. So I wanted to do more research about it since there's not a lot, especially when it connects to heavy metal and mental health. Although there is some, there's not a lot. So I wanted to do my own research. And so I started a survey, and I tried to uh, share it on social media and let it like spread to get as many responses as I can from fellow native metalheads. And to my surprise, I got more than what I expected, and I got about 130 replies
Wow.
in that time. And yeah, it was really something because that tells you like in that amount of time, because I released it around the beginning of May, and then about um the end of May is when I had to cancel the subscription. So between that time frame, a lot of people took that survey, and um, reading the responses were pretty cool too, to see how it affects them in different ways. And so um, when doing the survey, my questions were to, let's see, let me find my questions. My questions contain like different metal, like name different heavy metal native bands you know, or what tribes are you from, how old are you, where are you from, and just taking a poll of like what type of heavy metal music or what type of heavy metal bands do you listen to, and then towards the end asking them if they would like to do a Zoom interview, going more in depth of their relationship with metal, because I feel like even though they wrote it down, people can get lost in their words while talking, and you can just feel their expression and emotion towards what they're saying. um, so for those who responded yes to that, I'm really excited to set up those meetings with them. Yeah, but there's not that much questions because I did go under like the free survey monkey thing, and it only allows you like 10 questions. So but
Yeah.
the research results I got back are more than enough for me right now, so that's good. And there were like the tribal affiliation, like just to name a few, there's like Navajo, Tlingit, Cochiti, Acoma, Jemez, Cherokee, Ogallala, Laguna, Haida, Lakota, Ute, Apache. That's just some of them. The ages, 36% of the people who answered were in between the ages of 18 and 24. 38% were between the ages of 25 and 34. And then 10% was 35 to 44. And then less than 10% were like 45 to 54 and 55 to 64. So a lot of ages spread out, and that's pretty cool.
I have a question. So in your survey, you asked people to name some native bands that they know of. Were what kind of responses did you get there? Were there bands that you knew of or didn't know of, or did you like investigate those bands? That was a really cool, interesting question you put in there. But what kind of responses did you get for that?
Yeah, so there was a lot of bands that I did not know of, because like when you look up like res metal bands or native metal bands, they're not the first thing that pops up on Google. You literally have to go through social media, this profile to this profile, to find the bands. But there were some that I did know and some that I have seen before. And let's see, just to name a few, there's Black Braid, Res War, Warpath, Signal 99, Graves of the Monuments, Suspended, Ocean Harvest, I Don't Conform, Under Exile, Dying Tribe, Testify, Death Mantra, 6 Million Dead, and what does that say? Oh, and then like the rest was like Anthrax or Testament, like the leads. Um, but those were like the I guess like the res metal. I have seen Warpath. They recently played at the Gathering of Nations. And they were really good. They're really good. I've seen Death Matcha before up in Gallup. They're pretty good too. I've seen Suspended multiple times, and I freaking love those girls, man. They fucking kick ass.
They're awesome. I got a chance to talk to them not too long ago. Super nice, very cool people.
Yeah, I saw them. Well, the first time I seen them was at Gathering of Nations, and I had started. I was one of the people to help start their little tiny pit, and then I saw them recently at the Headbangers Market that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I've heard of some of those, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of a niche underground like scene. It's kind of like you kind of just get bands by word of mouth or by going to the local shows. And but luckily, yeah, with social media, it's easier to find those res metal bands. One of my resources is the Metal Archives, and it's called like Encyclopedia Metallum. I go there a lot. I try to submit bands to get archived in that site, but that's usually a good one for finding bands. Um,
Yeah, I like looking over there too, and they have a lot of information. And I'm glad you try to put in those bands because a lot of them need to be recognized.
yeah, I've been getting a lot of rejections there. Those whoever those website whatever hosts are, they're hard to please. So I'm trying.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, that's really cool. That's I like that. How you came up with that survey and hearing the responses that you got. Yeah, like I filled it out. I don't remember what I put, but I guess my relationship is to the music. I'm not a musician, but I feel like ever since I discovered the internet, I've always read interviews or read album reviews or anything related to like band content. I'm always a fan of, and even like now, I feel like I'm trying to do that with this podcast and trying to create like interviews and try to do reviews and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm just like really into that part of the, I guess the scene. I'm kind of like more like the I'm not a journalist, but more like someone who reviews and someone who like tries to recommend stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next thing. Well, we kind of already talked about your exposure to metal music, but one thing I wanted to ask about that was there like a certain band or a certain image that really kind of stood out that really like influenced you to the point where you're doing art now or that you're still influenced to this day? Like, was there a band or a particular like image that really influenced you?
Um, a band that influenced me, I would say, is seeing Testament out live, like up and close for the first time. Just that energy that stuck with me. And then an imagery would just be like Eddie the Head, Iron Maiden, like all of that, all of the art. It stuck with me, and like doing like when working on that album art, I did a lot of research, and I've um I saw the importance of how, album art is to the album or to the song because it does really stick with the people. So yeah, at first though I started off with like the lighter, I would say lighter stuff because my mom had put on like Linkin Park, Korn, Rob Zombie, Chevelle, Metallica, Static X, so stuff like that. And that was like everyday music for me. And then I started to like get more deeper into it, more into thrash or more into death metal. Um, when after I saw Soulfly in concert, and that also like was a turning point because I think that was like my second live metal show, and I was more I would say free there because I wasn't so like tense and like what if somebody sees me, I saw a girl actually, like I was probably like 15 at the time or 14, and I seen this girl, and while I was having all those thoughts like, oh my gosh, I'm tense and like someone's gonna see me if I like headbang or like being self-conscious, and I seen that girl, she gave no fuck. She didn't give like one hell that anyone was looking at her. She was headbanging and doing all that stuff, and she was an older lady too, and I was like, dang, I want to be carefree. And so I was carefree ever since. Every time I go to a show, I'm in the mosh pit. Every time I'm at a show, I'm headbanging. Or like, yeah. And I just go with the music. Like every time I'm at a show now, it's just me and who's up there on the stage.
That's cool. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. When I was younger, I would love the mosh, but not anymore. I broke my foot in a mosh pit. I saw Machine Head in Phoenix about 2 years ago, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. Uh,
Wow.
but yeah, I still go, but I still just I try to get as close as possible, and I'm one of those annoying like assholes that like hold their phone up and record. So I'm sorry for people who I blocked their view, but yeah, that's kind of like what I like to do now. But yeah, you mentioned the artwork for that you did for M.I.S. Merciless Indian Savages for the song Scorched Earth. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I had actually reached out to them about merch. And I think that led him to like look at my profile more and to like look at the artwork I do. And then so they came with like another message like, hey, do you do commission? We are putting out a single called Scorched Earth, and um, if you do, you know, what's your rate? And so I was like, ooh, yay! I always wanted to do album art. I always wanted to do it, and I'm really happy those guys came up to me and asked me. I was like, yeah, yeah, I can do it. I just need the information for it. What's the song about? You know, can you send me the lyrics? And they sent me everything. They really gave me all the information I needed to create this piece. And while working with them, I gave them like pre-sketches to like choose the direction they want to go in. And since this song is about Kit Carson's scorched earth policy, you know, there's gonna be a lot of fire and a lot of destruction. So I wanted to portray that in like a not so, I guess, violent way. And so we agreed on doing, you know, just like the hands, and I made them like not pretty for a reason because, you know, like that could be the destroyer's hands, and the burning world is in their hands because they made it like that. So also when choosing the colors, I went off Megadeth's Peace Cells. I followed that color blend because I really liked how um, who is it? How Edward Ripka, he's the artist for that album cover. I like how he uses his colors in there. Um, so yeah, it was really fun working with them. It took me a while because I was towards the end of my semester, um, but they were very flexible with me. Also, they had sent me some merch, which I love. And I oh like they played in Gallup, I think like a couple months ago or something, and I wanted to see them there, but I missed them. So hopefully they play somewhere near Albuquerque soon, because
Nice.
their new song is fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm looking at the art right now. I don't know how to share my screen, but yeah, you got the hands depicted, and then the earth scorched, and then you got the corn stalks. That's really cool. That's interesting. I didn't know that you chose the color based off of Megadeth. It's pretty sick.
Yeah,
What about the people in the fire? Like, how did you like? Was that something that from the lyrics, or was that something that you kind of added on your own?
I added it on my own. Um, I just thought it was an interesting way to depict what had happened because in that policy, they're ordered to destroy people, crops, and basically anything that can make a person, you know, like live, you know, basically destruct all their resources. So in the fire, I wanted um, not so detailed people in there to like mention, like, hey, you know, it went further than just crops.
Yeah, it looks like they're well, I don't know. I don't want to guess, but it looks like they're doing putting corn pollen out. Is that what you were going for or no?
Oh, no, that's interesting though. I haven't heard that before. No, my intention was just for the figures to just reach out.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really really it's just cool. I really like the colors. I think it's probably like the best. Um, but yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I hope you get to do more. Are there any like bands on like a list that you've like maybe I don't know if you've thought of like doing more, but are there any bands you want to maybe work with in the future or near future?
Yeah, I definitely want to do more album art because I really love combining my love for metal and art and putting it towards especially like a band who's gonna like utilize it. And as far as like having like a wish list for bands, I have not thought of it. I just think whoever comes up to me and asks me, um, or like proposes the idea of it and tells me more information, I feel like that enough I'd be excited for.
Cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like album art. Like sometimes I'll just buy something just because I think the album art's cool, but then I'll get burned and then like the album actually kind of sucks, but the artwork's cool. But
Yeah.
that wasn't the case for this. Both the art and the album for the M.I.S song is badass.
I know when I first heard it, like I was listening to it with my friend in the car because like they had sent me like before it was even out, so we were just listening to it and I couldn't like see how long it was or anything, so it was just like going in like just kind of blind. And like towards the end when they have those like stops, I was like, oh, that's it. And then it keeps going and I'm like, oh, that's it. And then it keeps going. I'm like, oh my God. I was like freaking out and I was like, this is gonna be the mosh pit song. This is it. And I was just really psyched.
Yeah, it was a heavy breakdown. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. All right. That kind of leads into the next couple of questions. I wanted to go and talk about some of your favorite metal album artwork. I have a couple too I want to like throw in there, but we can go ahead and get into that. Do you want to start or should I start? Or
Yeah, I can say my favorite. You said artwork?
yeah, like favorite album art, yeah, of a band,
Okay. Okay.
or the band and the album.
Okay, so like I like all of Iron Maiden's album art. Derek Riggs, the artist, he is amazing. He's a creator, I swear. But the ones I really, really like is Killers, The Number of the Beast, Somewhere in Time, Life After Death. And then going on to Death's albums, Scream, Bloody Gore, and Spiritual Healing, and The Sound of Perseverance. And then Violence, Internal Nightmare. So those are the ones I have so far. There's just a lot. Um, they're the way that these different artists come up with different scenarios and their own figures, thrash figures or figures is intriguing to me. So, um, yeah. Uh, what's yours?
All right, here, I'll show you really quick here. So probably number one, I'll show you. This one, can you see this?
Oh yeah,
Dissection, the Storm of the Lights Bane.
nice. I have a patch of that.
Yeah, I got the vinyl here. Yeah, it's just been like my all-time ever since I discovered this album, like when I was like a senior in high school. Yeah, I asked my dad to do a painting like that. So that's like number one. And then number two, I don't know if you've heard this one or seen this one.
Oh dang, no, I haven't seen.
It's the Fallujah album, The Flesh Prevails. I just think it's cool. Like I can't tell you the artists. Oh, so the dissection one that was done by that guy. I think his name is Necrolord. And then the Fallujah should have wrote this down. It's done by Tomas Capra, but yeah, this is cool.
Dang, yeah, that is.
And then I don't know. This is probably number 3. I don't know if you've heard this one, Horrendous.
Oh, dang.
Like like from like when I first saw it, I thought it was like a face in the sky. It's like I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Stranger Things for some reason.
For real.
But yeah, that one's probably number 3. I think the artist, his name is Brian Smith. And then whatever number I'm on now. I don't know if you've heard this one, Artificial Brain.
Oh no.
It looks like aliens like shooting each other. Like there's like a battle scene or something like
Yeah.
machine or like aliens shooting each other. And the artwork is by Paolo Gerardi. And this one's an example of where I bought it just based off the art. I don't know if you've heard this album, Howl.
I have not, but that is pretty cool. The art.
Yeah, I wish it was like a gatefold, but it doesn't fold out. But there's more art on the back. Yeah, I totally just bought this just because of the album artwork. Looks cool. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's like, I don't know, there's like a lady, her eyes are bleeding, and then there's like a heart just like pumping blood, like squirting blood. I don't know, there's just a lot going on, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I like how chaotic some of these album art can like get. Like the more you look at it, the more you see.
Yeah, and then let me see the artist who did this, Howl. Shoot, Ryan Begley. And then I have one more. This one like came out this year, but I really dig it. I want to get the record. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yeah.
The band's called Sisyphean. I think they're from Lithuania. The album art's done by an artist named Adam Burke. I like it just because like anything with like DNA or human anatomy, I'm into.
Nice.
And the way I interpret this is like you have a strand of DNA, and you have like a man and you have a demon, and they're fighting over which genes get like expressed to make the human. So like there's like a demon and a man trying to fight over what like genetic sequence will end up becoming the human form of that person. So that was what I was thinking when I saw it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But but yeah, that's I just wanted to show that one. Let's see here. Go back to okay.
Yeah.
Next one, band logos. Like what kind of, I don't know if you came up with any or have any off the top of your head about your favorite band logos.
Death for sure, because that's like really fun to draw. Toxic Holocaust. Um, and then I find myself like when I'm bored, just like drawing Slayer or Corn.
Uh,
Some easy
Slayer's
ones.
classic, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the ones at the top of my head.
The one I would throw, well, for me, I probably Emperor, just because I like how symmetric it is. You know, like
Yeah.
like it's equal on both sides, and that's how I asked someone to do the logo for this podcast, that Res Metal podcast logo. I told
Yeah.
him to do it like Emperor, and yeah, the one I got back, it's pretty cool because the way the R and the E are actually, the R is the same R as the R from the Emperor logo, so that one's probably my favorite. And I like Dark Throne. I don't know if you've heard of or if you like At the Gates. Um,
Yeah.
the lead singer of At the Gates drew the Dark Throne logo, so that I really like that.
Oh,
And
that's pretty cool.
yeah, and then At the Gates too, like the old At the Gates, where it looks like it looks like a church like window pane. Um, that one too. I think probably those three would be my favorite like band logos that I can think of. I think you mentioned some of the ones I like Slayer and Toxic Holocaust, but for sure those. Um, And then how about top 5 albums, like metal or non-metal?
So let's see. I have The Sound of Perseverance by Death. I can listen, put that on and just like not even change it. Time's Up by Havoc. And then Nightmare Logic by Power Trip. And then a non-metal one would be uh 3001 A Laced Odyssey by Flatbush Zombies, and they're like rap. And then I would say another one would be Down with the Sickness, Disturbed. Or is that what
Nice.
it's called? Yeah, because that album's really embedded in my mind because like whether um because my mom would play all the time like on road trips and stuff, so like I could never skip it, so I just like learned all the songs.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a classic. That Down with the Sickness. That's probably the only Disturbed album I really kind of got into. After that, I kind of didn't really get into them. But yeah, definitely Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
Um, I can give you mine really quick. I guess I think for me, anything Gojira, but probably number one would be From Mars to Sirius, that Gojira album.
Nice.
Um, yeah, that one, like I when I first heard it, like well, actually I discovered it because I like every time I get on the internet, I just read nothing but album reviews. But I read the album review for Gojira, and then the way it was described from that, the reviewer was like, it's like Morbid Angel meets Meshuggah, and I was like, oh shit, that sounds badass. So then, yeah, I went ahead and got it. And then probably number two is Machine Head, The Blackening. Like that, yeah, I don't even that's like an almost perfect album. That Machine Head Blackening album is probably up there with like yeah, just any classic like rock metal album. And probably after that, Slaughter of the Soul, like by At the Gates. And
Yeah.
then Metallica too. I'm just a Metallica like fan, more so for their history and like their early albums. So
Yeah.
definitely Ride the Lightning, Metallica. And then I guess another one too would be like that Dissection album that I showed you, the Storm of the Light Spain. So those would probably be ones that I really like, probably top 5.
Wow.
And then how about the favorite concerts attended? What would you say your favorites are? Or top 3, top 5 concerts attended?
So I've been to a lot of shows, and I'm only 22. Uh, and so far my favorites have been Power Trip. I've seen them 3 times. Rest in peace, Riley. And then Toxic Holocaust. Yeah, I've seen Toxic Holocaust, I think twice. Um, the first time I didn't really know them. Then the second time I really knew them, and I was like, "Oh shit, I know the song." And I think they were with Gore, so that was pretty cool to see. Like it was a pretty cool lineup. And then Slayer and Iron Maiden. Both of those I got the opportunity to see them in the pit because they were at the Isleta Amphitheater. So I got to get really close, and that was really amazing to see them, just like right there. I'm like, Bruce, it's me. uh, yeah, and then I guess just that Testament concert too, when I first got out of my shell.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I've yet to see Toxic Holocaust. I've always wanted to see them. Damn, I think they just did a show with Darkest Hour in Phoenix. Damn, I really want to go to that. And then Power Trip too. That's cool. You mentioned them. I've only seen them once, and that was when they toured with Cannibal Corpse and Gatecreeper. But damn, it sucks. Yeah, Riley Gale passed. I'm hoping they continue on, maybe with a replacement, but I don't know if they. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's cool.
I saw yesterday actually that the members of Power Trip and the members of some other band are forming another band. So maybe they're cooking something up.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that one. I'll tell you mine. I'll go like in probably my number five to number five, probably Municipal Waste. I saw them in 2007. I think it was like my 21st birthday, and they played with Suicidal Tendencies. It was awesome. It was my first time seeing Municipal Waste, and yeah, I was like when I was like back in my wild days. It was fun. That's all I'll say. Um, Number three, probably Metallica. I've only seen Metallica once, and that was when they toured with Avenged Sevenfold and Gojira. So I'll do like that Metallica show. It was at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. I mean, it's hard to see, but I mean, just the fact that it was Metallica, I'll mention that. And then number three is more recent, the Cavalera show where they did Beneath the Remains and Arise. Like I I still get chills just thinking about it. Like I recorded a bunch of like songs on my phone, and I still like just go back and watch that. I'm like, yeah, I was just like in awe of what was going on. Like watching them play those songs, and then um yeah, and I was like really close to the stage too. So that was like just probably one of the best concerts, probably the best show I've seen all year so far.
Wow, where was that at?
It was the Cavalera show in Albuquerque.
Oh,
Was it back in May? Yeah, back in May.
okay. I was there too. I was there too. That was fun.
Yeah, I was sick. Like, god damn, I really wanted to go watch that show again. Like either I think the closest places were like Denver and Phoenix, but I couldn't do it. That I really wanted to go back and check it out again. But definitely that was probably one of the best shows I've been to. And then I put number two, the first time I ever saw Cannibal Corpse. I saw them at the 2006 Sounds of the Underground tour in Mesa, Arizona. Um, yeah, it just, I think I've seen probably Cannibal Corpse like more times than any other band live. So yeah, I'm just a big fan of Cannibal Corpse every time they tour. And then I put number one, my favorite live show was seeing Gojira on their La Enfant Sauvage tour back in January 2013. They played in Tempe, Arizona. It was Gojira was the headliner, the Devin Townsend Project, and Atlas Moth. I think just because it was Gojira, and on top of that, the lead singer of Gojira gave the Navajo people a shout out, which it's on YouTube somewhere. So if anyone wants to find that, it's really cool. But yeah, those are like favorite concerts I've attended.
Nice. Yeah, I think the most concerts I've like the band I've seen the most would be Soulfly. I think in 1 year I've seen them 3 times.
Oh wow, yeah, I can relate. I saw them back in August when they started their tour in Albuquerque, and then I saw that same on that same tour. I saw the last show in Tempe. That's when they did the band Go Ahead and Die. They did the Go Ahead and Die live in Tempe, and then I saw them in Gallup like just a few months ago. So yeah, so far 3 times in 1 year. So I don't know if they're going to tour again this year, but hopefully, yeah, if they do, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, they're cool live. We can go on to the next one. Oh, your favorite band shirts. Do you have any favorite band shirts? Top five?
At the moment I have, let me see. Let me actually see if I can get it real quick. Um, okay, let's see. So at the moment I have this one.
Oh yeah,
Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
Yeah, and it was their Valentine's Day special, so that's why it's pink. And then I have Nervosa, which they came.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was my first time seeing them, and Oh, I really love those guys. And then my other one would be Municipal Waste. This one glows up in the dark.
That's
It's pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah. And then I just have my power trip tee um that I got at the show when I saw them. I
Oh, hell
guess
yeah.
back in 2018. Um and then I have like other merch too. Like every time I go to shows, I try to get merch, or like every time I see some cool art design, I try to
Nice. Cattle decapitation, yeah.
pose up. And then this one, Gojira
Oh,
from
nice. The tour shirt for the Deftones show.
yeah. So oh yes, and then have the vest.
Hell yeah.
So those are my favorite.
Cool.
So yeah, I try to like stock up on merch, whether it's like beanies, shirts, patches, stickers. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I have that same thing where if I go to a show, I gotta like usually like I try to get something from the band I want to see. But if there's like a band that just like totally just I didn't know about that just like kick ass, I'll get something from them. Um, but yeah, I'll show you mine really quick here. So I don't know if you've heard of Chimera.
Oh no, I haven't.
Chimera, they're a metalcore band from like the mid 2000s. They broke up, but um, I'm trying to like collect Chimera shirts, and I have two so far. But this is the album cover for Resurrection. Um, so Chimera, Soil Work. I'm a big like fan of bands from Sweden, like At the Gates, In Flames, Dark Tranquility, and Soil Work. I saw them in Tucson back in 2013. So this is where I got that one. Um, oh, this is the Cavalera. Like, I yeah,
Oh
this is like I kind of wish that they put the tour dates on the back instead of the tracks.
yeah.
But yeah, this one's cool. I like this one better than the tour shirt. And then this is the show I was telling you about, the one that I saw Cannibal Corpse for the first time. I don't know if you could see the lineup back in the back.
Oh damn.
Uh, Cannibal Corpse is right here. But As It Lay Dying was the headliner, In Flames, Trivium, Guar, Cannibal Corpse, Black Dahlia Murder, Behemoth. Um, yeah, this was the 2006 Sounds of the Underground. Um, yeah, fun show. And then this is like probably my all-time favorite, this Death Clock shirt. The
Ooh,
artist Mark Riddick, the artwork. Um, yeah, I saw them with it was Death Clock. It was 2012. I think it was with like Machine Head and Black Dahlia Murder and All That Remains.
yeah.
Um, yeah, this is really cool. I had to hunt this down because when I went to the show, I didn't have enough money to get the shirt. I only had enough money to buy beer, and and I found this like Facebook group where people sell their merch, and so I saw this. I'm like, I immediately, I think I found it last year, so it took me like almost 10 years to find this shirt. Um, so yeah, that's like my favorite.
Wow, you're so lucky you got to see them. I want to see Death Clock.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. I think they're gonna play again, but I think they're only gonna do like festival appearances, not necessarily a tour.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah, they're cool. Um, and then last one, I put top five favorite native bands. I think you mentioned a lot of them on that responses to the survey, but just off the top of your head, do you have any like top five?
I don't conform. Suspended. Merciless Indian Savages. Um, and those are my. Oh, there's a When Darkness Falls. That's another one. I don't know if they're still playing together or not, but when I was growing up, my mom took me to one of their like underground shows, and that was pretty cool seeing them do their thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've never When Darkness Falls. Where are they from? I haven't heard them.
Um, I'm not sure exactly where all of them are from, but I know that they played in Albuquerque. Like they play in Albuquerque. I'm not like again, I'm not sure if they're still together, but they were a good band.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have a top five. Yeah, those are cool. Definitely, everyone should check out those bands. I Don't Conform, Suspended, M.I.S, When Darkness Falls. Um, I would say for me, 6 Million Dead, like they're probably like just yeah the heaviest like local like native band. Really really like them. Um, yeah, definitely Graves of the Monuments. I feel like yeah every they put out like really like clean like sounding like music videos, merch. Everything they put out is just like well done. And then I would say uh yeah, definitely Mutilated Tyrant. They're always cool. From Ganado.
Yeah, those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
seen their little documentary they had. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the Revolver. Yeah, that one. I feel like of all the native um, bands, like I feel like they've got the most like exposure just from that Revolver mini documentary. Um, I know they're gonna play in Gallup tomorrow. I'm gonna really try to like talk to them or record an interview with them. But yeah, um, yeah, those are definitely probably some of one of the ones that stick out. I'm blanking on more. Um, but yeah, those are some of the ones I enjoy.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'm gonna add another one real quick. Warpath.
oh
Um,
yeah, Warpath, yeah,
guys play heavy, man.
sick. Dang, I know I'm like drawing a blank.
On the spot.
I know. Probably. I feel like there's some bands around the Phoenix area. I feel like it's mostly Phoenix and Albuquerque that have the most bands, and then everywhere else in between. Um, I mean, there's some from like Canada too that I've only like seen online. I've never like seen them in person. Um, Definitely Black Braid. I think Black Braid it's still somewhat new. And probably I don't know. Pretty much anyone I've spoken to on this podcast, so yeah, they're all really cool, and they've all like been like nice and over. I always get kind of like embarrassed like asking them, but a lot of them are always really cool. Oh, definitely um, Under Exile too. Like they were probably they're the ones they reached out to me, and it was really cool. It was the first time I ever talked to like a whole band. Like it was on a Zoom interview, but it was really cool. And then now I'm trying to do more like in person too, because I have like microphones and stuff I can like take to the show if the venue will let me. So I'm trying to do that too. Um, but yeah, definitely those bands. But as far as like continuing to do this, I really want to talk to like Testament or like Lamb of God, or I guess probably my dream would be to talk to Gojira. They're probably like favorite band, and I feel like they kind of have like recognition for Indigenous people too. So I kind of feel like if I can keep doing this long enough, maybe they'll take notice, and maybe I can talk to some of those bigger bands.
Yeah, I feel like you can totally do it. Like, keep doing what you're doing, because like I only see like from the time I started following you to like now, I only see you keep growing. You're going to different bands. Um, like even me, like I didn't even know like there was a res metal podcaster, and so just like I'm really grateful for what you're doing too, because that allows like other metalheads, who are native, who want to support other native metalheads, find a direction on where to go. And I feel like there's a big like possibility for you to do like all these interviews with different bands because there's not a lot of people who want to do that sit down interview with those bands anymore. I look up different interviews and they're all like like articles. There's not a lot of like video recordings or people who just sit down and talk anymore. If there is, it's like filmed a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, that was another reason too I wanted to start talking to bands is because I noticed some bands like they're not around anymore. And if I wanted to like, yeah, talk to them and then just, yeah, have that documented for whoever to listen to, whether it's a fan or I don't know, someone who's just generally interested in this stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying. Just gonna keep it up. It's I definitely enjoy it. It's I get a lot of I guess I get a lot of like excitement from it. It's just something to look forward to. And then, I get to like edit, I edit the thing and I listen to it all over again. And then I try to like create or make like the little like Spotify thumbnail picture, like all that stuff. It's kind of cool. Like, and then like hearing the response from people too is something I like, whether it's, they want to suggest something or if they like have some kind of like constructive criticism too. I'm open to that too. But yeah, it definitely just keeps me busy out here. There's not a lot going on. So yeah, thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah, no
Um,
problem. Have you heard of a YouTube channel called Bangers TV?
mm, um, oh yeah. Is it they do like reviews and interviews and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like at the end of their reviews, they like give shout outs to like lesser known metal bands. And I don't know, and it's a possible like I don't know their format or anything, but it's another people trying to do, well, I guess not exactly the same thing, but similar.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally ripping off other podcasts because I listen to a lot of like metal podcasts. Like I'm basically doing what they're doing, but like with this like part of the scene, like with like native metal bands.
I don't think you're
But
ripping it off. I think you're expanding it.
um, but yeah, for sure. If I can find a way to incorporate what they're doing, and yeah, I can for sure try to do that. Give shout outs to different people at the end if they want to like message me or yeah, just reach out to me. I'll for sure like shout out their band. Um, but yeah, those are pretty much all my questions. Jacquelyn, thanks for talking with me again.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you for having me.
yeah, I'll work on this and let's see.